Hi, I'm Dennis Hansen.
And this is my emergency backup solar system.
In my first video, I kind of outlined how this system, how I set it up, how it's going to work. In this video, I'm going to do a little more details and show the practical applications for it. Alright, I should mention that I live on a barrier island in Ormond by the Sea, Florida. So we're pretty prone to hurricanes, severe weather, but not any more than anybody else in Florida. But we're kind of the end of the railroad tracks as far as power, infrastructure, and things like that. And that's why I wanted to live here. But there's a couple of things I wanted to mention. In the event of a hurricane, I'm not the kind of person to evacuate. I have a pretty solid house, and I have a good generator to keep it comfortable.
This is my Coleman gas generator, and it's got 3,000 watts, so it's got decent power. It's got a couple of plug-ins here, and they are fused. Of course, the downside is I have to keep gas available for it, and I usually keep like 10 to 12 gallons of gas on hand during hurricane season.
Alright, so you might be wondering, how long does 10 gallons of gas last? Well, if I don't run the generator at night, I can probably get like 3 or 4 days out of it, and after that I'm going to have to go to solar power.
So what I have here is a real basic system. I have a Rhenology, it's only a 10 amp charge controller, and I have a battery. It's a lithium battery, and it's like 16 amps, which is fine for my little emergency setup. And then I have the Topsolar 100 watt panel. Okay, so the steps to set this thing up is I want to connect the battery first, then I can make sure it's programmed the way I want. Alright, hooking up the battery is pretty simple. This is actually the space where you want to hook the battery up. Just use red wire for your positive, black for your negative. And I put these little slip-on terminal clamps. They just slip on there, and it works pretty well. Alright, and so it's just showing that the battery's hooked up, and showing the battery's got 13.3 volts. There's no load, there's no load. I can handle a load up to. Now, you'll see these little things on the left. This says PV, which is for the solar panel, and that's showing that it's 0 volts and 0 amps, because I have not hooked that up yet. So that's my next step. I trim these leads back a little bit, and you want to put them in here. You want to use a little screwdriver. Make sure you snug them pretty good, but don't overdo it, because you can make problems for yourself later. Alright, pretty simple. You just take those cables, plug them into these 2 connectors. Now we can come back. We can see what's happening with this. So we're going to it's on the load right now. It should come up with the PV. Okay, right now I'm getting 13.9 volts at 0.4 amps, which is not bad considering there's really not much sun on this. And alright, now to come to the practical side of this, what can I do with all this? And in the last video, I kind of cut it off right at the end when I was going to do things. So what I've done,
program the charge controller so that when I hit this enter button, it actually will go on the load. And that's what I'm going to demonstrate right now. Okay, so for my first practical application, I've got my little fan here, and it goes in. I'm plugging it into the USB port, and all I've got to do is hit the enter button, and that makes the fan go on. Okay, and there is a way to see what's going on with that. Right now, you just look at the charge controller. It's on battery. Okay, I'm on load. It's pulling 0.2 amps at 15 volts. So it's actually not using as much as the solar panel's charging the battery, because the battery is getting recharged at 0.4 amps at 13.4 volts. So actually gaining a little ground electrically. Okay, and to turn off the fan, there's a switch on the fan, but I can also just do it this way. And that turns off the power going out of the charge controller. Alright, the main reason I got this was so that I can recharge my phone if I run out of gas and I've got nothing else to charge it with. And I guess I could use my truck. I'd have to wire up the USB port, but anyway, this is the setup I've got. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on. And this is under load now. So my phone just kind of woke up, and it's saying that it's 86% charged, and in 37 minutes it'd be full. Alright, another practical application for this little setup. And I know that this isn't a lot of power, but it's something, and if you've got nothing, something's better than nothing. What I've done is I ran 2 wires. This is for load right here, these 2 screws. And got a wire here, and I picked up a bunch of these LED strip lights. They're very inexpensive, and they work really well. So it's possible to do that, and they don't take a lot of power. Alright, so let's see how the system's doing. It's going to be going to PV in just a minute here. It's charging at 13.8 volts at 0.3 amps. That's what the solar panel's putting into the battery. The battery's at 13.3, and the load is 1 amp. It's probably 15 volts. So that's what's going on. We can, I'll turn off the light. We'll see if it makes much of a difference. Okay, we're back. It's charging at the battery's at 13.3, and the load now is 0.6 amps, 15 volts. So these little things take about 0.4 amps, which isn't much considering how much light they throw in. Alright, so it's been, 20 minutes or so, and the sun has come out a lot more. So let's check and see how this controller's doing. Right now the solar panel's putting out 13.8 volts at 0.4 amps. And the battery's at 13.8, so it's charging the battery a little bit. Alright, the load is still showing 0.3 amps. 15 volts.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the load. And you can see that makes my phone light up, and my phone is at 100%, so it's charged.
Alright, so I hope that makes it a little more clear what this system can do and can't do. It's not going to, you can't plug your refrigerator into it. If you want to do something like that, buy a Yeti or one of these other solar generators. For me, it's just a get by, dire situation, and you know, I would probably just want to stay in the loop with my family, and so I could charge my phone, I could do things, get on the internet, you know, do the little things that I need to do. So anyways, that's about it. So leave a comment if you know, if you got one. Thanks for watching.